Very good. See you.
So it's, what, 5 o'clock on Monday, your time? Is that right?
No, it's now 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Okay.
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
5 to 8, yeah.
Very good. Very good. So thank you for being willing to have this this conversation, Tiago. I had a hint of what you were talking about when we were speaking in San Diego, but I was hoping to have a more in-depth conversation with you about your remarkable experience, and I think it'd be useful for people to hear about how you manage such a horrible experience. I'm truly inspired by what you did, and I'm looking forward to hearing more details about your experience. So is it okay to talk about it?
Just 1 minute to plug this in. I'm afraid it could turn off suddenly. Okay, now it's safe. Well, my first reaction was to run. I actually thought about getting back to the car and driving.
Could we just backtrack a bit and just to set the scene? Could you just give some details about what happened? You were driving?
No, I had first stopped the car. When I came out, the guy came with the gun to my friend first.
Uh-huh.
He had dropped the car before I did. And I had my face down because I was picking up my phone and wallet. And when I came out, it just like a surprise. And first I thought about coming back to the car and run, but I was afraid to leave my friend with them. So I picked up everything in my pocket, raised my hand. They shouted loud to go back with my hand because it would get attention from people, and they didn't want attention. And so I just opened my hand with a wallet, telephone, and valuable things. They took first the car key.
Mm-hmm.
One of them went to the driver's place and asked us to go to the back seat. And then they started to drive and said for us we should stay quiet.
So there were two people. There were two people, one with a gun and
Yes,
another person
driving.
Yeah, and then there was you and your friend.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And when I saw that situation, I first said, okay, I see that you are professionals, so be calm, be okay. I will do everything to help you in it.
Okay.
As you are professionals.
Okay.
And they were nervous, you know. And when I said that, they said, yes, we are professional. Look here. It was like a phone with some antennas, some lights, and it was to find if the car had something to track.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And first they had asked me if the car had it, because when you make the insurance in Brazil, they offer you to put this machine that track the car.
Yeah.
and it was my brother's card. And I first said it doesn't have. Then I go like, how if I say that it doesn't have, and in case it has, because it's my brother's card, I would get in trouble with them. I didn't want to lose their trust. I wanted to find some trust from them.
Yes.
So I said, okay, this is my brother's card. It may have this machine, but I don't think so.
Okay.
But I can't assure you that it doesn't have.
Okay.
So they started driving a little bit like crazy people, closing all the cars, and I was just waiting. And after that, I said, okay, and I value you because you come to me, I said to them, you come to me and say, your car is mine now, I'll get your car. Mm-hmm. And you just take it in front of me. They didn't have even anything to cover their faces. And I said, this is true, this is honest, because people in the government, I don't know if you heard about Brazilian corruptions, very big here. Mm-hmm. And we're having lots of trouble with it.
Okay.
And I said, those people, they will do this behind us and do much worse things from us.
Okay.
They reacted very well from it because they said, yes, I have been in oh my God, I forgot the name. When you are in jail. Yes, I have been in jail. And after that, I didn't have any chance in my life. I have a daughter. You want to see her picture? He wanted to show his daughter picture, but I didn't ask him the picture, and he didn't show me after that. And so they continued it. And the other man who was driving, he said the jail here is like a university for the crime, and it is true. Mm-hmm. If you go in jail, you find people who will teach you more about the crime, and you find more contacts.
Wow.
More people to work with, like, work that way. And so, they kept on driving for about 40 minutes, the total time. And halfway, at about 20 minutes, I started shaking. My hands were shaking, my mouth was shaking. And
were you feeling scared? Were you frightened? Did you feel scared?
Yes, I felt scared. I actually felt a little bit like dissociation.
Yes.
Because in my mind, I didn't get scared, but I saw my hands shaking. I couldn't control my mouth. And I said, like, I can't understand. I'm not scared. Why am I shaking? I think I was somehow dissociated from that state.
Yes.
And this guy, he took my hand. The guy who was with the gun, he took my hand and said, "Calm down. You'll be fine. We won't do anything to you."
Oh my goodness.
I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't calm down. It's impossible. I can't control it." But after a while, they gave us our wallet back with ID, and cards. They just took the money from our wallet and gave it back to us.
Okay.
And my friend was feeling hot. He asked if he could open the window a little bit. And they first said, no, you can't. And then they offered, do you want us to turn on the air condition?
Huh.
And he said, yes.
Huh.
When he turned it on, the air condition, we started to shake it so much, then he got like, no, turn off.
Okay.
I don't know if we were shaking on fear or
Cold.
because it was cold.
Oh my goodness.
And then I started to try to find out why I was shaking while driving. And I realized that there should be some thought about dying, about being killed.
Yeah.
And I remembered from the wallet that was already in my pocket this time. And so I thought, if they gave me back this wallet, it's because they are pretty sure that they won't kill us. So that made my shaking goes a little smaller, like 50% from before. Yeah. Then when they finished their way in a place, there was a farm and it was a very dark place. They went to a small street and it wasn't easy to drive in it, like there was mud. And they started to fight each other because of the way they took. It wasn't very good. You know, this time was very scary for me because I was thinking if they fight each other, if they argue with each other, they could kill us also. And then they set us to, when they got the car out of there, they said to us to drop the car. And I asked first if I could keep my bicycle. And the driver, he wanted to let me take the bicycle, but the other man with the gun, he didn't want. He said he needed a bicycle and he would keep it. And so when I was dropping the car, the last thing I asked them was that, may I take the bicycle? And they said, no, I didn't. So I didn't ask no more.
Okay.
And then there was weird thing, like the driver, he opened the window and asked if I would need the keys, which were in the car. It was my home key. I said, yes, I would need it. And gave me my stuff back.
Goodness.
Yeah. And they drove away. And after 5 minutes, they drove back. This time was for me the scariest time because I had the image, the view of them coming back and shooting from far from the car.
Yes.
I looked for somewhere to jump on or to hide, but there was nowhere.
Yeah.
And when they passed us, they just go like this and said bye-bye. Like if they were our friends.
Goodness.
This wasn't good. Then I said, okay, now you're free from them. Let's find some way to be out of here. I was lucky. He drove 40 minutes, it was like 30 minutes out of the town. And it was a place close to where a cousin of mine lived. So we walked until we found a pub. And to the pub manager, we said, we had been in a bad situation, and he understood and let us use the phone so I could talk to my cousin. First, I talked to my brother, would talk to him to give me a call in the phone because they had stolen my phone also. And I talked to my cousin. He said, oh, okay, in 10 minutes I'll be there because it's very close. Oh, good. So as I had my credit card yet, I asked to the manager, can I use the credit card here? He said, yes. Okay, so give me a bottle of beer and I can relax. When my cousin's wife arrived with him, she said, you don't used to drink beer. I have never seen you drinking. I said, just in special occasions.
Special occasion, yes. How long ago was this, Tiago?
How long?
Yeah, how long ago? When did this happen?
It was in October, mid of October.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's about 2 months ago, about 8 or 9 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Yeah. And after your cousin came, how were you? What happened after that? You know, how were you in yourself?
I was feeling like excited. It was like if I had got something very good.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I hadn't the feeling of lost. It was the opposite because it has a good meaning for coming out of such a bad situation.
Yes.
So I got excited.
Okay.
We went to my cousin's house. We got to talk, and it was like a party. I was kind of celebrating to be out of that people and that situation.
And has there been any kind of trouble with you since then? How have you been in yourself?
No.
Any bad
Just
dreams?
In the first night, yes. I slept in my cousin's home, and I didn't sleep at all. I slept a little time and woke up like if there was something wrong happening again.
Yes.
But just in the first night.
Yeah.
The second night was already better. I was very tired also.
Yes.
Yes. So the first was very bad. And I got myself thinking about this situation. Yeah. What could I do next? And I always get the conclusion that there was nothing I could do. Because, for example, if we had a car that is shoot-proof, a car that has something, if you shoot, it doesn't cross. How do you know that? How do you name that?
Something about the car? Doesn't matter. Go on.
Okay. There was nothing I could do to avoid it. For example, from now, what can I do?
Yeah.
I won't stop living. Like, if I need to see my friend again, I will go to his home. I will go around with him.
Yeah.
I can't stop living because of that.
Sure.
And this risk will still go on. I'll have to take this risk for everything I do. And so as I don't have anything to do, that makes me feel actually better.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have anything to do, I don't have to worry also.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've accepted this is what happened. You couldn't have done anything different. And you're sort of peaceful about it. You're calm about it. It just happened.
Yeah, I accepted it. yes.
And
Uh,
when you look back on the situation, what do you think? When you look back, what was it that you did? How were you in yourself that allowed this to work out really so well? It could have gone badly, but it turned out really very well. What were you doing? What did you do
I
that you
had
think was so?
very clear in my mind as an objective, as my goal,
Yes,
to get their trust. They
get their
should
trust.
trust me somehow.
Right.
For example, my friend, he had his phone hidden,
Oh yes.
and when the guys went away, he showed me his phone and he said, "How you crazy? How if they find it and they could
Yeah.
think we were calling someone or keeping
Yeah.
the phone tracking on."
Yeah.
So that was scary for me. Uh, so I had the clear idea that I should do whatever they asked me to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
For example, the bicycle. I really wanted to take the bicycle,
Yes.
and I just asked, "Can I?" And
Yes.
before asking anything, I was like, "Can I ask one thing?" Then they said, "Yes, you can." Okay, I would like to take the bicycle with me. So I didn't go like, okay, I should take the bicycle. Oh
No.
no, you're wrong. You are already taking the car. You have so much advantage, so
Yeah.
you should do it with the bicycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't make any comment like that.
Yeah.
Everything I did was to make it easier for them.
Yes. You
That
made it
kind
easier.
of
Made it easier for them.
made it easier. Yes, I
You made it.
was willing to make it easier for them.
You made it easier for them.
Yes, I think it was easier for me also.
That's amazing. Very very useful lesson. And
Yes.
I think you said something about when we were talking about it briefly in Santiago, that something you were inspired by Ericsson. There's something that you mentioned Ericsson's name, that somehow you got an idea from him, or am I imagining that?
I actually didn't remember Ericsson at the time,
Okay.
but I think uh, uh, this this first having a goal in mind is very Ericksonian,
Yes.
and looking for a good rapport. It's
Yes.
also very Ericksonian.
Yes.
Maybe for working with Ericksonian principles for a long time,
Yes.
so I have this automatic for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to remember the
Okay.
theory to put it in practice,
Okay.
but it definitely has something like it.
Yes. Yes. It's so beautiful to see that the principles, the Ericksonian principles, are not just theoretical; they're actually very practical. It,
Very
it could well have saved your life and your friend's life. Just those principles. You accept them. You don't oppose them. You don't antagonize them. You don't make enemies of them. You accept them.
Yes,
So
yes,
you get their trust, so they don't kill you.
yes,
It's
yes.
really
And those
beautiful.
principles, they become so natural
Yes,
in my life.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the first time I had been in touch with these principles was before Ericsson. When I went to Australia the first time, it was in 2002, and I had lessons about neuro-linguistic programming, and they taught us about Ericsson languages.
Okay.
And that got me interested about Ericsson first. And when I first went to Australia, I didn't have the language working, and it was useful to have these principles also.
Yeah.
And so from 2002, 2001, there is 15 years that I have been first in touch with these principles. I think it's natural for me today.
Yes. 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 That's lovely.
But it came so naturally. It didn't took me forward to.
Yes. Yes. But Tiago, I've been recording this. I didn't ask you permission before. I forgot, but I've been recording our conversation, and I'm hoping that it's okay for me to share this experience with other people who are interested, because it's so helpful in our practice, but also, such a dramatic example of how it saved your life, really. It's really quite dramatic. At the time, it didn't seem like you weren't doing anything fancy or clever, or you were just sticking to those principles. And as a result of that, it could well be that you saved your life and your friends. So I hope it's okay. Is it okay if I share this with other people who might be interested to learn from your experience?
Yes, it's okay. And it's a pleasure for me to know that I can help other people to cope with such a situation like that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Marvelous.
Very nice.
All right. Well, I'll stop the recording there, and I'm so grateful to you for the time and for your willingness to be so generous about something that is so personal and so important. So really, big thank you, Tiago. Big thank you.
Thank you so much.